Hey, what's up, Pathway Student Ministries? Welcome to week 2 of Wakes with Ben
and Sam.
And Sam, my co-host. How are you today, Sam?
I am wonderful.
That is so good to hear. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Well, we just wanted to start talking again about influences.
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of our theme in this fall, is talking about influencers. And so this week we're really going to talk about a specific group of people that influences us. It's somebody who has the potential to deeply influence me and who I am and who I'm becoming. Like me right now, but also me in the future. They have a great influence on me. This group of people does. Any idea, any guesses as to who we might be talking about, Sam?
I'm going to say that's probably my group of friends, your group of friends.
It's true, yeah. Your friends don't necessarily influence me unless they're the same friend, but it is friends.
But it is friends.
That's the group.
It is friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
This inner circle of friends, we're looking at how, we're looking at friends and how they influence us, but more so we're looking at this inner circle idea and this this core group of, the people you run to when, the people you're constantly, want to tell life stuff to that, know about your personal life, and those ones that you're, always wanting to talk to and connect with, and just, are they having a good influence on you? Are they having a bad influence on you? And just, how that's playing out into your life, and, what we can do about that.
Yeah. Well, and the tricky thing about friendships is, they're kind of complex, right? Like, sometimes you really like your friends, you, really get along, and then other times you're like, I kind of really don't like you right now.
I could strangle you.
Right? And it's one of those things where it is kind of complex, but we need friends, right? And God created us for relationship. And so, our hope is that you would have friends and you have this inner circle that is influencing your life. And when you have that inner circle, we're really thinking through, okay, what kind of influence is that inner circle having? Because they have so much access to my life, because their words and the way that they communicate to me matters more than what other people say, right? Sometimes it matters more than what my parents say. Sometimes it matters more than what my youth pastor or youth leader says or whatever, because they have so much influence in my life. And so we want to ask the question, okay, they have so much influence. Are you comfortable with the way that they are influencing you? Are you comfortable with that level of influence and that direction of influence?
Yeah, and I think, and that's a great question, and I think that brings us into our, first verse we're looking at this week, which is Proverbs 22:24 through 25, and it says, "Do not make friends with a hot-tempered person. Do not associate with one easily angered, or you may learn their ways and get yourself ensnared." And, that's pretty much looking at, what we were just kind of going over, and the fact that, those friends you were with, those ones that you are, if they're the hot-tempered ones, if they're the bad ones, doing bad things, if they're the, even emotionally negative, just those different, not good influences, they're gonna weigh on you, they're gonna pull you in, whether you're aware of it, want to be aware of it, whatever, it's gonna come around you because that's who you're with. And that kind of brings us, also looking at our main point, which is I'm becoming like my inner circle. So is that good or bad? Kind of looking at, depending on how your inner circle is it going to be good or bad? How they're influencing you. Yeah.
And it's not just about our inner circle influences, but it's also about all the other areas of influence in our life. I mean, being a social media influencer is a job. Like that's what people do and make money doing it. That would be amazing. Maybe this will take us there,
I know,
Sam,
maybe we'll be positive social media.
There we go. I like it. Influencers, something like that. Yeah, there you go. But it's not just about your inner circle of friends, but also the people that you're allowing to speak into your life. And so that's the music that you listen to speaks into your life, the movies you watch, the TV shows you watch. I mean, how often do we quote certain TV shows and certain movies? How many times have you seen The Office?
In my inner circle of friends, we're constantly, talking about The Office, sharing Office quotes, sending Office memes.
And so it impacts so much and influences so much of your life. And they're really funny quotes, but some of them aren't good, right? It's not always a positive thing.
And even some of the other TV shows we might share with friends, where you watch, you all watch it together, in a way, those shows might not even be good shows to begin with.
Right. So you really have to consider all of those things and think about, okay, how am I being influenced? And are these influences drawing me nearer to God, or are they pushing me further away? Are they encouraging my faith and helping me strengthen my faith and my dependence on God, or the exact opposite? And so we have to kind of weigh all of those things, not just our inner circle, but also our media choices and those kinds of things as well. which brings us to our second main verse that says in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 33, it says, "Do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character." Again, do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character. And it just reminds me of the fact that, man, you can feel as strong as you want. Like you can feel like, man, I got my faith under control. Like I know what I believe. I know why I believe it. I know my moral standards. I know all of that kind of stuff. But the reality of life is that bad usually wins out in these kinds of influences, because oftentimes the good influence is smaller, right? There's fewer people doing good than there are doing bad. Like the good influences are oftentimes outweighed by the bad. And so we need to keep that in mind, that we need to be careful that we don't think that we're stronger than we are, because if we put ourselves in situations where we are around bad company, when we're around negative influences, and we think that we'll be unaffected, it's not true. The reality is we will be influenced. We will be affected by that. And so we just need to kind of keep that in mind as well.
Yeah, I mean, this verse, really calls out to those of us, maybe all of us, that are, naive to that fact that we're gonna be stronger in this situation, or we're gonna, rise above in this situation. And that's, not always the case, because like you were saying, the bad influences tend, or pretty much do, always weigh out the good. So to be naive to the fact that I'm going to be, stronger. I was one of those people that was naive to that, and I ended up, not using the best language in my conversation, kind of shying away from God. It was just because I went in with the, preconceived idea that, I'm gonna be fine. I know who I am. I know it. But
and you are for a while, and I think that's the thing that's deceptive about it, is like you
quick
are okay for a while. It's kind of that slow fade of, hey, I'm doing all right. Like, I'm feeling okay. Like, okay, I made a set of word here, or done something there. Like, but like, that's not who I am.
You look past
but then you start, like, you did it once, then you do it again. And it's kind of that spiral of like this influence, having more influence than I realized. And now here
and
I am.
You're at the point that you're so comfortable, you don't even realize where you are until someone or something is like, calls you out.
That's true.
But I think, but when thinking about this, the thing that we also have to look at is, if we're in those bad influences, or if we're, looking to get into those good influences, we have that choice. You're not,
that's true.
You haven't, if you've gotten yourself into a, bad inner circle of friends, you're not locked in there forever. And it's like, all right, see you guys. You have the opportunity to, and though it's a difficult one, kind of shy away from those relationships and start looking for the better one. I once again went through that, and when I realized where I was in those bad influential relationships, I took that hard look to like step out of them and shy away from. I'm still in a way connected with those friends through social media, and we'll comment or slide up on their story, something. But it's nothing where where I'm having a daily influence from them, because I kind of took that look and realized that I got to make this hard decision. And it's hard now, because we were saying in the beginning, we're built for relationships. We're built to be connected with people, and so ending a connection like that, good or bad, is difficult.
It is,
but it's better to end that, because it's going to be more difficult if you continue in that influence. So it's just,
that's true.
Weighing those costs, but and also thinking, and like I pointed out, we want to shy away from those relationships, but not necessarily cut those off.
That's a good point.
Because once we're, say you're stepping out of a bad relationship, and once you're into a good influence, you might be able to kind of step back into that bad influence.
Because you have maybe a stronger foundation, or they're not, kind of that differentiation of like, it's not your inner circle, but it's still somebody that you're engaging with.
And you can provide that good influence, but not necessarily have their bad influence pull you back. You can still continue, that whole Great Commission thing of God, and spreading His love and going out to people, because we don't want to completely cut off. We want to leave those doors open, but we also want to leave them kind of shut in the way that we're not pulled into those negative influences.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, hey, this has been Wakes Week 2 with Ben and Sam. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully this impacted you or influenced you in a positive way. And if it did, good influence. I mean, you could subscribe to our channel. There'll be a bunch of different videos coming out.
Share it with your friends.
Yeah, share it with your friends.
Start those
Be an influencer. Yeah, be an influencer. Influence in a positive way. Thanks for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you next week.